welcome back to Spotlight. Joining me now is Auday Arabo, and he is with the Associated Food and Petroleum Dealers. And seated next to him is Reverend David Bullock, who is with the Rainbow Push Coalition here in Detroit. Appreciate you joining me.
Thank you.
The two of you, it's my pleasure. The two of you have come together. You're collaborating on a community event that's coming up on Thursday, the 16th. Why and what is it?
Our event on the 16th is actually going to be putting 100 of the black pastors and 100 of the Detroit grocery store owners in the same room to actually have a nice dialogue. Because
I was getting ready to say, and this is going to be a dialogue, not a fight, right?
No, definitely a dialogue, and that's the whole thing in terms of communication and to kind of get rid of some of the stereotypes and perceptions. For instance, there are 86 full-service grocery stores in the city of Detroit. A number of them are really good. And so we're just trying to work together because we feel that, unfortunately, between the churches and the supermarkets, we're two of the last strong institutions still left in the city, all throughout the neighborhoods.
Whose idea was this?
It was a collective idea, I think.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And this is a big step because there has been tension in the past between the owners of the food stores and the gas stations and the community of Detroit, which is overwhelmingly African American. And they've not always walked down the same road together. But you're telling me, Reverend Bullock, that this is important to do this, and this is a big first step.
Definitely, it's important. Our tradition is a protest tradition, and so oftentimes you'll see us protesting in front of stores and protesting conditions, but we have to move past protest to progressive policies that bring the community together. We must come together and work together. We can't turn on each other. So we're going to put pastors in a room with grocery store owners to do a couple things. One, to say, just like all churches aren't bad churches,
Sure.
all stores aren't bad stores, right? There are good stores, there are good churches, one. Two, if our communities are going to come back, we have to work together. The pastors need to know the store owners need to know the pastors. And then three, we can organize around issues like crime, issues like blight, and then even more progressive policies like financial literacy programs, like turkey giveaways, like combating food deserts, and working to have healthy eating in food pantries and on church annual days. There's so much synergy around bringing pastors and store owners together, but it starts with a meeting.
Auday, when you talk to members of your organization, when this first came up, this idea, was there resistance at first, or was it wide open, and did it start with more of the younger generation?
No, believe it or not, there was no resistance, and that was some of the stuff that we want to really get out there, because there's some store owners who know the local pastors nearby and really work with the community. There's others that don't for whatever reason, so we wanted to actually bring them all together. But our chairman, our former chairman, actually, Jim Hooks, unfortunately, is the last African-American store owner in the state of Michigan, not only in the city of Detroit. So our organization's actually been very progressive. Our first African-American chairman was in 1978, Ray Shoulders. So it's been a really good mix. It's not just one ethnic group or anything else. It's a nice mix, but we want to be able to communicate.
Is it your hope that out of this type of collaboration that there will be more African Americans ending up owning stores in the city of Detroit, whether they're food stores or they're gas stations, something that Reverend Bullock, African Americans used to do in great numbers in this town and all across this country, but through integration and other things, those things went by the wayside, and economically it's actually hurt the African American community in many respects. So what are your thoughts?
Indeed, we do want to incubate more African American stores. As Auday has said, there's only one in the state of Michigan, right? So not only do pastors and store owners come together to get to know each other and organize around community issues, but we also come together to organize for our fair share. While there are larger corporations receiving incentives and tax dollars to come to the city of Detroit, there are independent grocers who also could take advantage of incentives and tax dollars to improve and or expand or develop stores. So many African American store owners would need to be a part of a targeted system that would incentivize those kinds of stores. So we come together not just to dialogue, but to work together so that we can have our fair share of this industry as well.
All right, and once again, we should say that this important luncheon is going to take place on Thursday. It's going to be at the Roberts Riverwalk Hotel, which is important as well, because that's owned by an African-American, Mike Roberts, out of St. Louis, who reinvested in what used to be the Omni Hotel, and it's kind of a gem on the Detroit riverfront, so I'm sure he appreciates you bringing that luncheon to his facility as well. Auday, thank you so much for joining us.
Chuck.
Reverend David Bullock, thank you for joining us. A Morehouse man. We should slip that in. For those out there who know, they'll know.